So something was a lot better than it had any right to be. Not gonna lie. So I had heard not like discussions, but some rumblings about what the new Space Jam would be about. Because as a '90s kid, I kind of assumed that it would be a retread of the original with Michael Jordan. That ain't the case. As we had our first look at the new Space Jam with a Space Jam A New Legacy trailer. I appreciate that they're not calling it Space Jam 2, because this very much feels like its own thing. I had heard rumblings of what the story was going to be, and I was just like, nah, that seems a little far-fetched. Oh no, they're definitely going in a new direction with this, as it's basically Space Jam meets Ready Player One, and I am all about it. I'm sure I told Josh this, but I also told one of my coworkers of this, because we got in a debate about whether this or Ready Player One will be better, and is it okay to weaponize nostalgia, basically, because that's what this is, of, hey, look, this thing. I don't care if you weaponize nostalgia so long as the nostalgia is targeted to me, and you show Iron Giant and you have my money several times over, thanks to Ready Player One. Again, I saw this on Twitter, I believe, and it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of true. It's sad that the only time Warner Brothers ever acknowledges Iron Giant is when he stomps around in someone else's crossover movie. I'm going, yeah, it's kind of true. And also, why does Iron Giant always stomping around in someone else's movie? It's like, you do realize he's peaceful, right? Like, he's not actually a weapon for most of the movie. However, you have Iron Giant, you have Pennywise, you have both Penguins, you have both the Burgess Meredith and the Danny DeVito version in the background. You've got all these famous Warner Brothers characters. I'm not going to lie, this trailer won me over a little bit, considering I wasn't necessarily cold. I was much more open to the idea of this movie than Josh, who's been very against this. But for different reasons. If I remember correctly, Josh, you've been anti this movie, not because of the love of the first one, which isn't that good. It's more of, you've said for a while, and I completely agree, that the Looney Tunes have not been relevant for quite a few years. They haven't been in the pop culture like they were in the 90s when the first Space Jam came out. That was a big crossover, the biggest name in basketball and the biggest name in animation. However, they kind of play into that in this trailer.
They do.
Send him to the rejects, and then they send LeBron James to the animated world, which it's the small touches, but I appreciate that when he lands in their world, he himself becomes animated. Like,
yes.
That was a good touch. And when he like blows himself up to be regular height again, I was like, something about this I'm kind of really digging, but it could just be the rose-colored glasses that are Iron Giant. Josh, what did you think about this Space Jam trailer?
So, as someone who is not as, like, I love Iron Giant, but definitely not nowhere near as much as you do. But, with that being said, you know what? Don Cheadle playing a villain, was already on board. I'm on board. Like, yeah, cool. Send them to the rejects. Send them to the Looney Tunes. Oh, okay, yeah. That's exactly how you deal with that issue. That's great. Okay, cool. Like you said, it's just a bunch of little things, and I love that this movie, at least from the trailer, seems to be more about the relationship between LeBron and his son, as opposed to Michael and basketball.
Yes.
Because the original Space Jam, while it's not the best, but look at it with nostalgia glasses, it's a good time. It was definitely more about Michael's relationship to basketball than it was anything else. Whereas this feels more like a family movie of like, where he's like trying to tell his son, he's like, "Yo, bro, you got some talent, you should use that." And the kid's like, "Yeah, but like, I don't wanna." Like, that's not what I want. And it's just, I'm already, like you said when you opened up this topic, like, this trailer it was way better than it had any right to be. I'm so on board, and like just seeing all these Warner Brothers characters, and like obviously making a genuine effort to not make it just a retread of the old one. Obviously, there's story points that you can't avoid. This is Space Jam. It's going to be a basketball game. There's going to be characters. It's got to be a top basketball player involved. Okay, cool. We got those. Let's go. Like, what else do you got? and I'm just saying I might see this in theaters. I don't know.
Also, I appreciate the color scheme of this. Like, everything pops. It visually, it looks gorgeous. I'm curious to see, like I was with Ready Player One, as I've got my handy dandy Iron Giant that never leaves my desk. Who else makes a cameo in this? We've seen the Iron Giant. We saw the Mystery Machine. We saw his like wish list of who could be starters with like Superman, Gandalf, Iron Giant, and somebody else. That was like, we won't. But if Superman shows up in this, because we've already got a whole bunch of other people. I know they've said Don Cheadle is a new character. Like it's LG or Algie or something is his name. I would not be surprised at all if they do like some big reveal at the end and he's the same alien guy from the first Space Jam, just working through an android system this time. And I've gone on record numerous times and I'll say it again. Michael Jordan, to me, will always be the better basketball player, just different eras. But it's not even close. LeBron will always be a better actor than Jordan. Like, he just feels so much more natural here. Like, I laughed, actually, when he's just like, what in the Matrix hell? I'm like, that's a pretty good line. Like, he just feels much more natural. I've seen him be funny. Not that Jordan wasn't. Jordan was just very wooden. Go back and watch that original Space Jam 90s kids. Jordan can't act at all. Neither can Larry Bird. That movie's saved by Bill Murray being Bill Murray. But yeah, this looks a lot more fun than it should be. Now, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people that are just going to go, it can't hold a candle to the original, thinking that the original is still some cinematic masterpiece, or they really have that fond nostalgia for it, which is fine. I'm just saying that original one is not as good as you remember. So at least try to keep an open mind with this new movie, because it looks like it is genuinely trying to do some new things here.
Yeah, it's nice.